I would like to reiterate my salutations to all the sponsors of AFRINIC. Once again, I would like to welcome you here in Tunisia, specifically in Hammamet. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Varef. A round of applause for him. Thank you. Thank you very much. He has just told us that we need to work together to provide more support for the ICT sector in Africa. At this point, let me welcome the chairman of AFRINIC board, Dr. Christian Bopp. I beg your pardon.
Honorable guests, State Secretary in charge of Industry, Mr. Muazzam Arif, CEO of the ATI, Mr. Alan Barrett, Director General of AFRINIC, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's with big pleasure that I greet you today and to tell you at the official opening ceremony of the 29th political meeting of AFRINIC convened in Hammamet in Tunisia. AFRINIC is holding every year two meetings of the public policies related to the different African sub-regional regions. This global platform is triggered to embark on negotiations about the digital resources, the internet, and about the training sessions being provided, which illustrate the pivotal role entrusted to AFRINIC to support the endless opportunities open for the African operators. The other event is the Internet Summit, which is highly specific because the other institutions of the Internet on the African continent do share these data with AFRINIC by holding their meetings jointly. By holding a geographic shift of this event, AFRINIC tries to enhance a more passive participation at the local level for the management of the Internet data. In this context, our appreciation goes to the ATI for playing host to us once more in Tunisia, and we take this opportunity to invite the other organizations to hold a meeting AFRINIC in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa is following a sustainable growth itinerary, the growth rate that is forecast for the future to exceed 4.4% in 2017 to move on to 4.3% in 2018. As a result, this AFRINIC meeting does represent a forum to reinforce the policies aimed at enhancing the technical discussions related to all the issues underlying Internet services. In a crucial manner, Africa is requested to make sure that the non-connected countries cannot be left behind, and as a community we have to support AFRINIC and to make of it a situation that is capable of supporting Africa to reach its objectives in a sustainable manner. And in terms of sustainable manner, I want to be concluding these statements without thanking our sponsors, and notably ICANN and ICE. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. He's just invited all of us to take interest in hosting AFRINIC meetings in our respective countries. I've saved the best for last, and now it's my pleasure to welcome our chief guest to give the official opening remarks. Welcome. I repeat, his name is Mr. Habib Debabi, the Secretary of State for and Industry in the Ministry in the Government of Tunisia. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. After the French and the English, now maybe we should speak Arabic.
In the name of God, the Almighty, the Merciful, Mr. Bob Barrett, CEO of AFRINIC, Mr. Alan Barrett, the Director General of AFRINIC, Mr. Maz Marif, the Director General and the CEO of the ATI, ladies and gentlemen, directors, representatives of the different countries and experts, dear participants in this session. At the outset, I would like to express my pleasure to be among you for this opening ceremony of the 29th Summit of AFRINIC, which includes a plethora of experts and specialists in the field of Internet, from engineers, businessmen, and corporate directors, and as well as legal advisors and all kinds of experts whose life is closely related to the Internet services and to the ICTs. I'm glad to reiterate that Tunisia did play a pioneering role to adhere to this African authority, the AFRINIC, ever since its inception, being fully convinced that we have to unify our forces at the regional and at the global level, and being convinced to support technology and to deeply consecrate it within our economic, within our African economic systems. Ladies and gentlemen, during the last 5 years, Tunisia has played host to AFRINIC summits. The first was held at the 22nd session in May 2015, and the second is the one that we are opening today, and that had started on the 26th, and it will continue until the 30th of this month. This does bear witness once more the wager we put at the level of the ministry, the government and the nation and the economic operators of this regional or continental device, as long as our deep conviction of all the advanced systems to support the ICTs and the communication systems, and being aware as of the digitalization as leverage to give further support to our different developing economic systems at the African and the global level as well. We did invest in disseminating the ICTs and the e-commerce and the e-commerce, and for this we have laid down a full strategy that could be encapsulated in the following items. First, to reconstruct the rules and regulations underlying this sector. The Tunisian state did endeavor, represented by the Ministry of ICTs and the Digital Economy, to adopt the Tunisian the initiative of Emerging Tunisia, and which was promulgated within the law of 2018 to establish and enhance the startups. Concomitantly, the ministry is trying to fully implement a special fund to finance these startups. It is expected to implement these regulations by the beginning of 2019. The Tunisian state also amended the communication code of the sector issued in 2001, and we substituted for the digital journal, in which we have tried to respond to the legislative needs and the technical developments and the legal advancement of this technological sector, and especially those who are related to the capacity to absorb the new professions that are closely related to ICTs. In order to ensure the success of this sector, the state did take many measures related to the restructuring process in order to meet the demands of the next developments, and especially to set up an ad hoc expert system at the ministry that we call the PMO, and to install the projection achievement unit, and to unify the work methodologies and to revise the different institutions to guarantee the implementation of the digital system that was performed by the state. In the same context, we have granted some various digital projects for the state institutions, corporations, to the Ministry of ICTs in a transversal vision to ensure the follow-up and achieve the different projects closely related to the state sector. The second item, after the restructuring system or the different legal measures underlying the Tunisian economy, is the infrastructure. And among the major projects here is to achieve the infrastructure, the national network, the integrated national network for the municipalities, and the integrated network for the Ministry of Justice, and the enhancement of the white and the coverage of the remote regions with the fourth and the three-generation system, in addition to digitalization of administration and the enhancement of the public services. The third item of the strategy, as adopted by the state in 2013, is the digitalization of the Tunisian administration and the dissemination of internet services for the citizens. In this context, the state did regulate all the projects through the electronic systems. Now it is being used in 6 ministries specifically, and they are being generalized during this year. We also undertook the achievement of the national identification system, which will be implemented as early as 2019. We also undertook a study about the Cloud National, which is the project of the electronic exchange between the sickness fund and its subscribers. We also endeavored to provide many administrative services at a distance, like the certificate of the trade commerce and the university and the school enrollment, a process that was triggered this year, and this effort will continue with services provided to the students and the pupils to register at a distance to avoid any kind of crowding within the postal services or for the academic institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, Tunisia today is going a real and comprehensive digital revolution with the participation of the Ministry of Control and the startups, in order to change our country into a digital country, where the Tunisian postal services have implemented many financial services for the money transfer and the payment and other services that are closely related to the different categories and regions. We also endeavored to launch the initiative of smart cities through 2 pilot projects in Benzout and in Kairouan to provide the outdoor internet services, or the outdoor Wi-Fi, and the use of these services for the performance of economic transactions. The fourth action, which is the most important one of the strategy, is to ensure the cybersecurity. We cannot talk about digital internet without talking about cybersecurity, and here I would like to insist that Tunisia, and given that its cybersecurity is part and parcel of its national security, therefore we have established an ad hoc committee in charge of the communication and data to support the efforts of the National Security Council, and we also provided status for the fighting of cyber crimes and the cybercrimes related to the data processing and the draft, and to start another national strategy for cyber security, in addition to earmarking a whole chapter for the digital trust and the data in the digital code that we are busy preparing. In terms of technical issues, the national data security system has installed an early warning system to provide the various attacks, what we call the DDoS, in addition to other projects aimed at supporting the national skills and the academic competencies, and in addition to a master's degree in cyber security, and to test out the cyber drive. Ladies and gentlemen, the adhesion of Tunisia and our commitment by the rules and regulations of the AFRINIC comes as part and parcel of our conviction of the need to put our heads together on the African continent, and here is to be whole comprehensive with the friendly and brotherly countries to transform our national continent to a real and genuine digital platform for production and not for consumption only, and to be ranked among the most outstanding continents and countries. Our country is also trying to be transformed into a regional platform, and this does justify our decision to host the African Excellence Center on the sidelines of the holding of the Data Committee meeting for the African Union last year in Addis Ababa. Also, our country took part with the projects of the two cities of Bizerta and Kerouan, in line with the National Union of the Smart City project. This is also in addition to supporting the presence of the ministry and the public institutions operating under its aegis in the international fora, like the Global Postal Union and the Alliance of Smart Africa, and also the concluding by the Tunisian Internet Agency a partnership committee with Donor for Nations that will enable it to install the first African platform for exchange through the data objective architecture, and among 6 global platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I would like to reiterate my welcome to all the Tunisian guests here, and I'm fully confident of the success of the proceedings of the summit, and we are eagerly waiting for its proceedings, recommendations and decisions, and we wish you a good stay in this hospitable country, Tunisia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Mr. Habib Debabi, Secretary of State and Industry from the government of Tunisia. Those very, very wonderful remarks. He's talked about us unifying our focus to support technology and also integrating ICT in Africa's economic system, and he's given us a very good story of the digital progress in Tunisia. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause. Our chief guests, we need to just inform you that today you've hosted 34 countries as at now in this forum, so I'm sure your story is going to be heard beyond the borders of Africa. Thank you very much. I think we are coming to a close now. I would just like to inform you that we have some sessions in this hall after the tea break, and we'll also, of course, have the workshops and other trainings going on at Caesar and Olivier downstairs. We have ICANN, La Poste, and the Ministry of ICT making some presentations here, so you can come back at your convenience. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to just conclude this. Welcome us to tea break, which will be served at the exhibition center in level 0. And please enjoy your stay in Hammamet. Thank you very much.
They are facing some issues related to internet security or internet safety. So basically, this is what we are doing during this type of workshop we call DNS abuse workshop for law enforcement agencies. I'm going to move quickly so that we can have some times. So to benefit from this workshop, we just need to have a host who volunteer or a country who want to hold this workshop. The country just express the interest to ICANN, and generally the host provide a venue and all the necessary equipment tools we need for that workshop. And depending on the size of the venue, so the host is free to decide how many people can attend this workshop. So far we have been in Madagascar, Botswana, Malawi, Swaziland. So in cooperation with other partners, we have been doing this workshop. So the intention during this slot is to share with you this information that is also a special workshop we are having now. So on the slide, you have the address of the team, queries.nairobiec@icann.org. So if you're interested, you can send an email to us, and then we see how we can arrange this type of workshop. So now I want to move to another project we are working on, or that is also key information, is the use of emojis in domain names. So this is something, because of the time, we want you to share with people who are managing the CCTLDs. So using the emojis in domain names is a security risk today. So this is the key message. As you see, emoji visually can be similar to distinguish. So this is an issue to use them in domain name. So as you can see, you have two emojis in domain name at the second level of the domain name, and sometimes it could be very confusion to use this type of emojis. In the second example, sometimes we can have a combination of emojis that can be represented by a single Unicode, but you can try to use this one at the second level for a domain name, and this also can be very confusing in domain name. So it's not reliable to use them in the domain name at the second level. Also, again, another example you can see is that across different platforms, you may have the emojis displayed differently across different platforms. So this is also one reason not to use the emojis as label in domain names. So that is also one reason. And this example, again, you have the same emojis that can be displayed differently. So this is also part of what we call the international domain names, because from the project or the initiative of having an internationalized domain name, we can have now labeled in different scripts. So now people are trying to use the emojis, to play with the emojis, to use them as part of the domain name. So the key message is it's not good to try to use the emojis. It's something you can share with the CCTLD managers in your country. And lastly, I would like to invite you, if you want to participate to this project we call the ITHI project. Is a project by one of the department in ICANN for research purpose. So we are trying to have partners help ICANN to collect data, and once we have data collected, this will help us to do some measurement. So currently we are focused on 8 various metrics from M1 to M8. So for example, one of them is the DNS route traffic. we do analysis to see. So this is M3. So people are interested in that one, for example, can be part of this project, but focuses on M3, for example. We have also M4, which is for the recursive servers analysis. We have M5 for DNS resolver behavior, and we have also AFRINIC partnering with ICANN on this initiative. And currently we have some universities, like in Ghana, we have University of Cape Coast, which is a partner in this project. ICANN is looking for more partners, so any partner ready to be involved in that one, you just contact ICANN, and then ICANN can provide tools for this. If you want to be involved in this project, on the slide that you will see on the AFRINIC website, we have our contact. Our colleague Alain Duran is the main contact. You can contact him for all this. So briefly, this is what I want to share, and then I'm sure we can take maybe one or two questions before the end of the hours. So we heard from our board member, we heard from Afralo, ELAC, we heard for NPOC, and also two key projects from ICANN. So I'm sure we still have some minutes to take some questions. So we have two microphones there. So please, you just stand behind the microphone, and I'm sure you have some questions or comment. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Elvi. Let's just clap for him. We have 2 or 3 minutes for questions, and we can open the microphones for questions. You know the drill. You can queue, and you state your name clearly for the transcribers, please.
We have a booth, ICANN booth in the hall, so we have some document there. Please pass by the booth. You can find document there.
Any questions for the team?
It was too fast.
Just queue. At the back, at your back, there's a microphone. Avi, can we check if it's working? Okay. Hold on. Can you press the... Can we help? Please. Okay, you're good? Okay.
So I just want to know more about emoji.
You have to state your name.
Okay.
Yeah, for the record.
My name is Mary Ann Ukeria, a student of Federal University, Lafia, Nigeria. I want to know more about emoji.
Okay. Emoji.
Oh, okay. Emoji, they are special, let's say, figure emojis. So you use them when you write email, or you use emojis in many things. If you are chatting with people on many platforms, you can use emojis. So what I mentioned in my slide is that people are trying to use emojis in domain names. So the message that is not safe to use emojis in domain names. But emojis is, you have emojis used generally on many platforms for many purposes. So we can talk more about that offline. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think it seems there's no more questions.
If I may add as well, actually the emojis have been subject of work that have been done by part of our community, which is the security and stability, the ASAC, which is a very important community in the ICANN. And the advice at the board that there is a lot of danger in use the emojis and the domain names. The study that we talking about is more related to CCTLDs and countries mainly. But at the TLD level, the GTLD is already forbidden to use the emojis as part of the domain names.
Okay. Thank you. I think we've run out of time. Thank you very much, guys, for your very elaborate presentation. A round of applause for the ICANN presentation. Okay, we'll invite our next presenter, Ms. Sophia Gefali, who's going to give us a presentation on the Tunisian experience on matters cybersecurity. S'il vous plaît.
Alors, bonjour à tous et à...
Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome you here. You are most welcome in Tunisia. Now, let me tell you about the Tunisian experience in cybersecurity field. As you know, today security is a major challenge for companies and for the overall actors surrounding the company. Security is no longer a message dedicated to IT experts only. Everyone is concerned now by cybersecurity. For that reason, the IT National Agency and my company are working on cyberspace security. It is a national coordinator to surveil the security of the Tunisian security internet space. There are other agencies such as the National Agency for Electronic Accreditation, which is the competency of national accreditation, the DOTI, which is a national agency of telecommunication to combat cybercriminality and cyberterrorism. Besides, with regard to personal data protection, we have the national high instance of personal data protection. We add to that each actor who's playing a role in cybersecurity. I'm going to give you some key dates actually since the birth of the National Agency of ICT Tech Security. I can name you the Tunisian Computer Emergency Response Team, which is part of the National Agency of ICT. It's a unit of management based on objectives aiming at achieving the development of information security. It was set up in 1999, followed by the promulgation of the legislative frame and the creation or setting up of the agency by law number 5 dated 2004. 2 years later, the TUNCERT, it was set up in 2005 and founded member of Organization of Islamic Cooperation of the CERT community. In 2007, our TUNCERT that was created in 2005 adhered to the Forum First, the International Forum of Incident Response and Security Teams. 1 year later, the agency adhered to the conference of UN of Development and Commerce, who said, 1 year later, the agency attended the UN Development Commerce Committee. And again, 1 year later, the agency attended the UN Development Commerce Committee. And again, 1 year later, they attended the UN Development Commerce. In 2011, the project HoneyNet, and 2014, a second experience on the African continent for supporting Nigerian CERT and its implementation. And again, in 2014, we were the founding member of Africa CERT. In 2015, we changed from the continent and we had to Europe. We became a listed member of the European Forum of CERT. And recently, in 2017, we signed a partnership agreement or contract with our homologous partner from France, the National Agency of Space Cybersecurity. Well, these were a few dates to highlight the career of the agency. And actually, with regard to our global strategic vision, we make efforts to set up climate-based and confidence and trust for the usage of ICT to ensure either consumers, clients, state and partners. Our utmost aim is to protect them from cybernet threats. Tunisians shall be fully aware of cybernet threats, capable and knowledgeable to protect their accounts and those of their clients, and to good benefit of online services and e-commerce. We want to ensure, them to be able to secure their proper data as well as private data of their clients. We want to enhance them to work more with our online services. Also, one project ongoing, which is one of our ongoing projects. I think that was an overall view of Tunisian vision and strategic plan with regard to ICT security. What about the legislative framework? As I said earlier, the agency was set by a law dated 2004. Two major articles mentioned in this law stipulate the obligation of conducting an audit of the security of information system. This audit is destined to Tunisian companies, be it public or private. It shall be conducted on periodically each 12 years. Another article is as important concerning the declaration of incidents. It is mandatory to declare the incident that either we detected or either we have been victim of it. Two other major decrees follow this. The first one explains, clarifies into details the missions of the audit, who does what and who is targeted by that, and how to conduct this audit. That's a decree 49.2/2004. The second decree 1215 of the same year explain exactly the steps to be taken during the mission of the audit and the follow-up measures of those companies that were audited and mentioned in the report of the agency. The rest is about laws and rules for the agency, but also for other cybersecurity structures, the organic law concerning data protection, personal data protection, and other texts of law. These are a few target axes or pillars of our strategy. The first one, reinforcement of ICT security, protection of cybernetic space. Capacity building is pillar 3. Pillar 4 is a consolidation of the savoir-faire on security, and finally the rehabilitation of the legislative and legal frame law. How are we going to endorse or implement these pillars? How? You can see here an overall of our missions: detection, alert, threats and risks, management of risks of incidents, legal investigation, restoration of hijacked systems or systems that were damaged by incident, the national and international coordination to respond to incidents. Another how is a follow-up of the legal audits, then competency development or capacity building, consultation and advice to technical services and team, and declarations. Missions are distributed over the different structures of the agencies. We have 5 technical structures. The first one is the follow-up direction of audit and security of system of information. The second is the center of observation and alert, name it ISAC. Number 3, CECIRT. And number 4, division of study and technical for national projects, DIAT, and Africa CERT, the most important, of course, which domain CERT, and the team of emergency in ICT field. With regard to the follow-up of ICT information or information systems of critical infrastructure of vital organisms. How we conduct this follow-up? Well, first of all, we encourage companies to accredit a certification in order to set up their information security system that is provided by advice and monitor assistance in the evaluation of critical online service, and also we monitor the security project. Another level is capacity building and sensitization through providing training sessions on the field and campaigns of sensitizations and raising awareness on a personalized level, either for managers or technicians. Another main activity of the agency is the protection of the cybernet destination space through the watch, supervision, detection of events and incidents, and the national reaction plan. With regard to the national framework of security, the agency of LENSI does not work individually, but in partnership with international and national partners. With regard to the international ones, let's start by the first, OEC CERT, LAPI CERT, and all the community CERT at the international level. and the French ARCI, and our collaborators, our CERT at the national level. The CERT is the national CERT in Tunisia. We work with sectorial CERT, which is a huge project of the agency, which the support of the implementation of CERT for the different sectors of vital interest, such as finances, the social actors, administration and health sector. Each sectorial sector implements sessions and projects specific to them. For example, for finances, we work with banks, insurance, and leasing system. For the social funds, the administrative sector, we assist them to protect the data of all the clients. TwinCert is the alert and control center, works in collaboration with national and international partners, operators, suppliers, and the target group is the manager and the high decision makers, besides to the professionals as technicians, and then the public, such as family, children, educators. We communicate via different channels, such as the mailing list of TwinCert. We have different sites, C.TN, and we have two set websites destined to professionals. Another site is targeting families and parents, enfants.s.nc.tn, that we will discuss later. We have social networks, Facebook, all the social media, and the electronic press. Back to CERT and the national framework of cybersecurity. In front of you, you have a reminder of the services provided by CERT generally. You can see here in front of you is the overall of services of CERT. I think what is written in blue, it's about services ensured now by TwinCert and C at the national level. One only activity or services which is partially insured by the agency, which is in yellow. We share it with National Agency of Telecommunication. The three other services in black color are not yet insured by us, but we are working seriously on that. Proactive services of TwinCert will be my subject of this slide. I'll focus on the services as promulgated in 2004 law. The first service is the audit of security information system. Who shall conduct this audit? and who is subject to this audit. Actually, all the public enterprises, the operators of telecom, the FSC, the companies in the network and interconnected to external network of telecommunication, and other companies that are automatized e-commerce and online services or activities of those automated enterprise. All these categories is subject to periodic and mandatory audits conducted by accredited audits, accredited by the agency. Now, we have around 700 audit expert reviewer in Tunisia and 20 office, and work following up more than 400 companies by this audit.
Le monitoring des services de cyberespace, là c'est une plateforme qui s'appelle SEHR.
And here, this is a platform named SEHR, and it is Veilleur. It's a technical platform developed by Tunisian competency in an open source environment that allows to conduct a follow-up of cyber attacks in real time.
Où on collecte des informations à travers des composantes de cette plateforme de supervision technique des systèmes et réseaux nationaux. Vous avez donc
there are 4 components: SEHR Web, SEHR SRV, SEHR EDS, and SEHR ADNet. SEHR is the name of the platform, which means le veilleur en français. We receive information from international partners of CERT. We conduct correlations of the data, and we prepare a reporting of event detection and tracking of and retracing of all the cybernetic attacks. With regard to the response to incidents, it is a mandatory service. We are bound by the obligation of the declaration of the incident by all the parties, companies or public. Following the technical support, there is a treatment of the accident report. Report then is sent back to the declarer of the incident. What we also do is a competency development, and we organize an annual event named the Cyber Security Days. We recently organized one in October. We have also another event named Cyber Drill National and Cyber Drill Sectorial Cyber Drill. And we target the field of social affairs. The Children Protection, which is an initiative conducted online to protect children, it was launched since 2006. And we have also another site just reserved for children, parents, and families. We put online sensitization brochures and booklets. We conducted also a raising awareness campaign in 2015-2016 on very specific topics, and we printed books, copy books with messages targeting to children and parents. And lastly, Twinsert has been the first full African member who adhered Forum First since 2007. Many cooperation actions South-South been conducted. We were also listed as the first and second sponsor to Nigeria, Ivory Coast, and South Africa, and many other countries besides. We have been a founding member of Africa CERT since 2014. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope I haven't been too long. Now I am fully ready to answer all your questions.
We have 4 minutes for questions, please. State your name clearly.
Bonjour. Je m'appelle Cheikh Mabrouk, ingénieur informaticien.
I am Sheikh Mabrouk from Mauritania. I am an IT engineer and a teacher from Mauritania. And I work in Nouakchott. My question is, the program of training organized within the framework of cooperation of IZET and LANSI, since the integration of the centers. My second question is the process of accreditation to respect the specification rules.
Si j'ai bien compris, donc la deuxième question déjà par rapport au processus de la certification des auditeurs.
So, with regard to your question about the specific rules and the process of accreditation, yes, let me answer you. The decree 1249 explains the conditions and the criteria of the certification of these users with regard to their education and study. There is a commission. A commission studies the files of these auditors to the users. There is a commission that studies each file then accredited is subject to be recognized by the agency and to conduct trainings on a renewable way. There is an accreditation also on the national and international level that we take them for granted. My first question is related to the program of training to train African engineers on security. Unfortunately, these programs have stopped some time ago, and but we can also learn them again on request. Actually, the agency does not train, but can conduct that with the specific bureaus in the field. Hello, my name is Huda from Cameroon. My first question is about the 5 main strategic pillars of your agency. Can you please come back to, because you were so fast, I need some clarification then. Your activities on information, family and child protection. I think that was very interesting to me, and I need to sometime understand that. Thank you.
Voilà, c'est bien ça. Alors, les cinq axes stratégiques, donc le renforcement de la sécurité du système d'information.
Okay, these are the 5 pillars, how to reinforce information security system in Tunisia through the project of a sectorial SOC or CERT sectorial. We consider that is an element to reinforce the security. You know that this is a hard mission, cannot be conducted but by one unit. So we launched that project. Now, with regard to the protection of cybernet space, we opted for partnership also, and we conduct simulation exercises to all the different actors who contribute to this pillar to protect the cyberspace. The other pillar, we provide training that are accredited and we make our communication campaign through fairs and exhibitions. We also enhance a master's degree at the level of university, and we provide some provisional training also in universities. Besides, in Tunisia, we launched the development and research projects with the universities. Then the following pillar is the rehabilitation of the legal framework. How? Accredited audit team. Those who have been accredited are already subject to rehabilitation and update in order to be fully aware with the amendments of the law. Finally, we work with all the sectors. As you know, the Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Women, all are actors in this project. Besides, we have implemented a national strategy to protect children online. We are working on this topic, and we have launched campaigns targeting teachers, educators, families, parents, and children. We organized many actions and events that I can tell you later with more details if you want. So this was with regard to your interest in children and family activities.
Thank you very much. Sorry, so any other follow-up question, please feel free to take it up with her as kind of responsibility. I can see this lady that will for you, so you can take it offline. We have to move to the next presentation. Thank you very much. This is for your presentation.
Okay, we'll move to our next presenter, talking to us about what La Poste is doing in digital transformation in Tunisia. Our next speaker is Moez Ben Haz from La Poste.
Merci. Tout d'abord,
thank you very much. I would like to welcome again our dear friends and guests from our very dear Africa. I am Moaz Ben Houis. I am the head of department in the Tunisian Post. I'm going to give you an overview of the digital transformation or in La Poste, it is true that we are member of AFRINIC, and as La Poste, we are considered as an important user and consumer of internet and technology. So we are going to focus now on this part of digital transformation. Very rapidly, let me tell you about these different aspects. We have a strategic vision, then our added value as a Tunisian post office in the financial and postal domains. We are practically a bank, but the only activity that we do not do is providing or allocating credits to people. Otherwise, we offer all financial services, electronic payments, on internet. So then we will discuss the approach put in place with regard to economic actors, a new business model for revenue sharing in collaboration with the companies in ICT field, then the positioning of Tunisian Post in the digital era. Today, Tunisian Post is based on four main pillars. Historically and classically, Tunisian Post Office is a postal pillar and financial pillar. And now, with regard to the strategy, we have added two new pillars, which is the logistic and the numerical pillars. Today, we want, besides the financial and postal services, we want to become a major actor in the logistic and digital payment and mobile and etc. Today, concerning this vision, we have created a network of partners with whom we work and collaborate. There is an ecosystem being constructed with the other actors. We integrate new digital services and ticketing, for example, selling tickets online on mobile phones, etc. Besides, we are preparing our structure for digital banking, either for clients or commerciants and traders. We also have the virtual card number, VCN. It is the account number that will allow us to do commerce and payment. Also, it has to be, the central bank must know the client, must have the minimum information on the client in order to be able to track him and in order to combat fraud and money launderings. We also contribute to the elaboration of the implementation of the pillars of digital transformation, either with the central bank or with the other work groupings in the field. Very quickly, Tunisian Post has been in the field of electronic payments since the year 2000. We have launched the first electronic payment in 2006 with regard to a text of law. We have opened this link for registration of university students. So each opening of university enrollment is conducted online. Then in the 2009 we have launched mobile payment with the three main telecommunication operators, Telecom, Ooredoo and Orange Tunisie. We provide with flash drives some services such as bill payments, sending money, receiving money for a social aspect organization. And some services for holders of smartphones. Then we generalized the enrolling or electronic enrollment for secondary pupils. It has become obligatory in 2018. La Poste has contributed with a few banks in this campaign of registration, and we achieved more than 72% of registration using inline services and La Poste e-card. We have also launched a few applications, including MobiPost application, which is an Android application. The iOS application will be launched very soon. Also collaborate or act the international level with other partners. With regard to payment cards, you have the eDNR big family, and it has many variables such as eDNR Pro for professionals. We have other cards for travelers, eDNR travel card, on which we input our tourist allocation in foreign currency to be used abroad. We have also developed wallets, which is another service which is based on blockchain technology. What about the partnership model with the actors such as the startup and the companies? It's a revenue sharing system. It's a bunch of tools in the form of web services. These young startups are going to be used in order to develop their application. We will offer them the possibility to develop their business. Similarly, we offer the possibility to all the young or new companies to develop. They will identify the frame of the collaboration, develop their products, and once validated by the Post, they can develop many partnerships with other startups in Tunisia. So this is a model: partnership, MOA to be signed, and the third one, the revenue sharing. What about this choice? It has been done in order to offer to these startups, fintechs, young graduates to develop a win-win model. Of course, there is the legal frame and rules that shall be respected, also not as limits, but not to be competitive to other actors. Another partnership model that we launched was done with the microfinance institution existing here in Tunisia and that operate here as well, such as Advance, and we have launched cards co-branded with this institution. This is the model of these cards with the brand of this institution. The platform, mobile and electronic payment of the Post is going to be used by their clients. Here also we have a partnership with the Algerian company named co-branded card named Rafaqni. This was done because of the important number of our brothers visiting and sisters from Algeria. So in order to avoid them carrying important amounts of money, we created this card. And also it provides them some benefits and discounts in hotels and clinics and hospitals. And it's also good to be used by the traders. This is a picture of eDinar Pro. It is to be used by the big public and facilitates transactions. It holds a big amount of money for the interest of traders. It also used to conduct electronic payment and to develop a POS, which are point of sales, which are bands for the free access to other services. eDinar Pro card allows the reception of payments, transfer, withdrawal cash in post offices and bank distributors These cards are open to do business on USSD channel or application of MobiPost. Also, they can develop wallets, point of sales, etc. These are flexible cards because they can open on multi-channel services to conduct a business. This card, Pro eDinar, is destined for normal persons, companies, traders. Very quickly, I'm going to make a presentation and Carte Pro eDinar can lead you to some VCL services if the same businessman had different shops.
The role of the partner, once they have concluded the agreement with the post, they are going to start their business and they are going to undertake the commercial campaign, negotiations and the contracts, and the businessmen, we represent the platform. The duty of the post is to be an enabler. In other words, we provide the software, the infrastructure, the solution, the payment solutions, and the tradesmen will focus on their business by themselves. All we can do is that to provide them with all the financial, the follow-up facilities so that they can advance more easily and more smoothly. The role of the post is that we offer these payment modalities. We are going to associate the Pro SIM cards for some payment terminals through some call centers to enhance our relations with the customers for any claims, and we ensure the technical aspects and the availability of all the items and anything dealing with business and communication on the basis of the partnership. It could be at the expense of the contractor. In terms of services, we have some examples of services that you are going. If you go out in Hammamet, you will find these billboards all over, and you are going to say post-payment. They're going to offer a lot of SIM cards and facilities, and behind all these billboards there are some e-payment systems. Of course, we are talking about agreements. The supplier of the post is to supply these means and to play the role of facilitator in terms of all mobile payment, e-commerce, and in terms of logistics. And also we will be dealing with logistics, because the role of the post is to deal with the small retailers in terms of payment and supply, be it in Tunisia or overseas. So the tradesman who is going to undertake e-commerce transactions of a customer is located in the States, in Nigeria, or in Tunisia, and he intends to buy anything. The Post is going to ensure the financial aspect in terms of payment and the logistic facilities for the supply and the delivery of these items, of these parcels to the customer. In terms of POS, as I said, here we are talking about free access terminals that each company is going to develop and to supply services in terms of electronic recharging, in terms of payment of invoices, or even of cash withdrawal. So the role of the Post here is through these terminals to offer some cash in or cash out services. Now here they are pictures representing the terminals concluded with the Post partners. Also, this PayPost, this is another company which works with the group. We talked about MobiPost. It's the application that happens between Android ES with the Post or with other partners, and which uses the USSD channel and the UAP or the Android applications. We have a certain number of publications that are quite successful, and we have other applications that are underway at an in-house or with the partners. For the DigiPost, it's an application which was awarded the Digital Award Prize in Tunisia. This application is based on the blockchain technology. Even the research and development aspect is highly present in this kind of Post service, in partnership with Digitas, which is a Post partner, and the agreement was concluded in 2017. These are some background screens for the refilling and the payment of invoices or any other service. These are some examples reflecting the background screen. This activity we subdivide with the GH. It's the Polina group. Polina, it's a great group which operates in many fields, goods delivery and the meat business and egg business. They have their own applications so that the resellers or the supplies could be paid through this mobile application. So each time they can have their card, and when they deliver the goods, they can be paid on the spot through this application, which at the end of the day is located at the Tunisian Post. So this is the role of the Post to play the role of facilitator for any e-payment system, and it's an application that is highly successful. The Hardrom, his partner, who is busy developing another application, and the launching will be by the end of 2018 and at latest early 2019. This is an application also that is quite successful. Let me recap here what I have just tried to present because I am using up my time. The Tunisian Post as a financial operator in the financial logistic field, we are progressing steadily from the R1 network, classical, physical, tangible. We are talking here the post offices and the parcel agencies and the DHL services, which use also the TPE and the self-post, the ITM, to cash any money. And then we have shifted towards the R2 system, where we have offered some cards for a certain number of partners to conduct a certain number of business transactions. Today we are in the mobile network, where we have developed the payment services through the USSD or the smartphone Android applications, be it in terms of applications pertaining to the Post or with the remaining telecom operators or with other startups. Today we are busy thinking about setting up a fully digital network where we can have some wallets, and so we are going to have some intermediary services because we have all the applications which are based only on the financial aspect, the wallets and the post accounts. In other words, we are based on the operability services through the telecom operators or through the banks. And here we are talking about the DigiCash, which is a new gamut of cards. It's a virtual card or virtual account that could be dished out to students and to pupils to do their enrollment, and they can buy and sell a certain number of goods through these applications offered by the post services. To pay the bookshops, or to pay the businessmen, to pay their stationaries, or to pay for their meals in the fast food restaurants. We are talking about digiting for the stadiums and for the movie theaters. And we are talking about applications conducive to some services and that are ready to offer the possibility to some companies and corporations and startups to develop their own business operations by making use of the postal services. Thank you for your attention, and I'm at your disposal for any potential question that you may raise.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. We are open for questions. Any responses to his presentation, please? Yes, just queue. Remember to state your name clearly for the record, please.
My name is Eukaria from Nigeria. I want to know how secure is the ePro, the eDinari Pro. How secure is it?
Bon, je m'excuse, je vais répondre en français.
I'm going to answer in French. Now, the eDinari Pro benefit from the cards bearing the MasterCard logo, so they benefit from all the advantages of security on the basis of the Visa and MasterCard standards, and where we respect fully the standards. But the IT system that is implemented contains all the security measures. We have departments in the Tunisian Post which ensure the infrastructure of the security facilities, the whole chain and the whole platform that is around the payment system, and the electronic payment system, or the process for refilling or for repayment, is fully audited. At the Tunisian Post, we work closely with the Tunisian Computer Science Security Agency to audit our systems, and whenever we detect any early warning or any fraudulent aspects for e-payment, we, as member of this board, and since we are in charge of this public service, we try to support these early warning systems. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for your presentation. My name is Eric Mobubia from Kenya. So my question is, in your interoperability, where you're integrating the banking system, the mobile application, and the USSD, have you experienced any security concerns, e.g. the cyber security and abuses of the privacy of the information? And how has that affected you in incorporation of the other technologies such as blockchain and the artificial intelligence that you're coming up with?
I think USSD for offering some services.
Yeah. My question is, as you are bringing up interoperability, sorry. Yeah, can you hear me? So my question is, as you're trying to integrate the banking system, the mobile system, using the mobile application and the USSD, have you encountered?
Hold on.
Please,
Can we check?
Okay.
Yeah. So my question is, as you're trying to integrate the banking system, the mobile application, and the USSD, have you experienced any security concerns in terms of cyber threats, and how has that affected the privacy of information from the customers who are transacting using that medium? And my second question would be, how is that affecting you incorporating the upcoming technologies such as blockchains, which we know has a lot of impact on the customer information?
Now, we have to bear in mind that today the post, at the post we have started electronic payment in 2000, and we were the first operators in Tunisia. The system in Tunisia and the advent of new technologies are so important today. The post is not the traditional post where we would probably deal with the stamps and letters. The post has changed all its operating system, and of course we try to be abreast of the latest ICTs, and especially the blockchain, which came out of the research efforts in Tunisia in a concrete way. The development of the wallet and the DigiCash, it's a mobile application which could be downloaded from Android, Google Pay. This application is using a wallet, but behind this we have set up a certain number of registers to sign and decrypt the transactions. So it's a concrete use of the blockchain compared to payments and refilling and payment of invoices and money transfer. All these transactions are based on these ICTs. When we talk about the new ICTs, of course we have to be provided with the staff members at the post, or through our cooperation programs with the university, or through our cooperation with the startups who are going to use this register in a tangible and concrete manner. This, of course, means that we have to take care of the security system at the same time.
Any other question? Sorry, you have to speak on the microphone. I think we can take this as the last question, and we close the mic from there.
Samir Gerbi de la Poste tunisienne.
Samir Gerbi from the Tunisian Post. I'm a colleague, so I'm going to probably give you a hard time by asking a tough question. Talking about financial inclusion, we all know that the African countries are countries that are provided with large rural areas, and the division of the population all over the African countries, you notice that we have 50% of urban population and 50% that are rural population. And talking about the digitalization, how we in Tunisia have dealt with this topic so that we can make sure that there is good penetration and a good coverage of these rural areas through the digital systems. Can we say that the IT systems could help reach out to all the citizens wherever they are located? And can we say that through these digital devices we can think to recast the education and the health services? And can we say that with this digital approach the post could play the pioneering role in terms of this field and vis-à-vis the remaining operators? Thank you, Mr. Samir. Mr. Samir Zerbi, who is the director of the international department at the Postal Services, and we are colleagues. The Tunisian Post, as an economic and social stakeholder, be it in Tunisia or all other African countries, at staggered levels, but we are facing a real problem here, where we have people who live in the urban areas and other people who are in the remote areas and who are far from being able to use the digital system. The problem resides in the financial inclusion, and it's our role today to ensure the financial inclusion. In other words, to go to meet these people and to offer real opportunities to all Tunisian citizens, wherever they are, in the rural or in the urban areas, and even in the urban areas, in the underprivileged areas, or to go to the countryside in very remote areas, to offer the digital services to Tunisia and to help them have access to an account through the electronic money platform and the postal services, and through the mobile telephone applications, be it a smartphone or a traditional telephone. This is why today, through the financial platform of the Post, we provide some payment cards, some wallets for these Tunisians, and we offer them some applications that are born on Android smartphones and based on the USSD technologies, to allow them to have access to these services and to pay, for instance, an invoice, or to send money, or to conduct any micro insurance transactions, or micro sparing transactions. And this is amenable through the microfinance institutions, so that we can reach out to the citizens wherever they are, and this is in line with the financial inclusion campaign. Did I answer your question? So today, the Post is not a simple economic actor, but at the same time, it is entrusted with a very important social role for social inclusion. Thank you.
The presentation. Let's clap for Mr. House, please. That brings to an end our session. Thank you very much. That brings to an end our session this mid-morning. I think now it's lunchtime. We are all invited to lunch. Lunch will be at the restaurant in Dia Lemdina. Please collect your voucher for lunch at the reception area on level 0. And bon appetit.